In the suffocating stillness of that living room, a man named Arthur Vance sat adrift. His world had narrowed to the confines of those four walls, his existence consumed by a single agonizing question. Before him sat the unwavering gaze of law enforcement, their presence a stark contrast to his own profound unraveling. He was a whisper of a man, haunted by sleepless nights and the gnawing void of hunger, his thoughts scattered like ashes in a phantom breeze. His hands, raw and trembling, clenched in his lap, desperate for a foothold in the terrifying chaos that had consumed him. He searched the room, his eyes frantic, as if the words he so desperately needed were merely hidden in the peeling paint or tucked away between the worn cushions of the sofa. But there was nothing, only the cold, unforgiving silence that now seemed to whisper his impending doom. It began, as all truly terrifying tales often do, with an innocent desire. The boy, Ethan, on the cusp of his 13th year, longed for a connection to the vast, shimmering world of the internet. A YouTube channel. A simple request, yet for his father, Arthur, it echoed with a long-forgotten promise. Years prior, a fleeting comment, a quick yes to pacify a child, had now returned to claim its due. He remembered the boy's younger voice, still lilting with missing baby teeth, clinging to his every word. Arthur's heart, still aching from the unfathomable void left by his beloved wife, Celeste's sudden, violent departure, sought only to ignite a flicker of joy in his son's shadowed life. He had promised Celeste he would protect their son, always, and now, a new promise, heavier than lead, weighed upon his soul. In the digital arena of his son's burgeoning channel, a fragile happiness had bloomed. Hundreds of subscribers, a testament to Ethan's resilience, brought a much-needed light to their quiet home. But a shadow, insidious and unwelcome, began to creep into the periphery of this newfound joy. A user bearing the name Celeste_Whispers started to leave messages. At first, they were mere whispers of unease, cryptic rhymes, unsettling in their vagueness, easily dismissed as the harmless antics of a bored troll. Play the game, stay the same, never change. A cruel coincidence, Arthur desperately told himself, clinging to the comforting lie. A name so close to his beloved Celeste's, it had to be. The pretense of coincidence shattered like glass. The rhymes twisted into a direct, visceral assault, weaponizing the very name of his lost wife. Ethan, it's Mommy. Can you find my face? It's gone, honey. Mommy needs her face. Each word, a poisoned dart, plunged deeper into the open wound of their grief. Deleting the comments proved futile. For every one removed, two more emerged, a digital hydra mocking his every effort. Blocking the user was a pointless exercise, for Celeste Whispers simply reappeared. A new account, a new disguise, an unseen entity weaving its web of torment. Rage, pure and incandescent, ignited within him, fueled by a desperate, primal need to shield his son from this unseen, unspeakable cruelty. This was no longer a troll. This was personal. This was a hunt. The desperate search for salvation began. Calls to the parents of his son's tormentors yielded nothing but righteous indignation and swift, cold hang-ups. They saw only their own perfect children, not the monsters he knew they could be. Then came the endless wait on YouTube's support line. A faceless bureaucracy offering scripted platitudes and hollow reassurances. Our systems are very advanced, a disembodied voice droned. It's likely coincidental. Coincidental? His rage flared, quickly replaced by a bitter, crushing despair. No one understood. No one could help. A profound, suffocating isolation enveloped him, leaving him adrift in a digital wilderness, alone against an unseen predator that seemed to understand his pain better than he did himself. He was pulled back to the source, to the tormentor's profile, by an irresistible, chilling magnetism. 2 videos, cryptically named, shimmered from the digital void. Echoes of Celeste.mp4. Whispers of Shadow.mp4. Their thumbnails were warped, grainy, like a nightmare pulled from an old decaying VHS tape. Yet they pulsed with an almost tangible malevolence. A sick curiosity gnawed at him, that grotesque compulsion that drags us towards the very precipice of our fears. Against every screaming instinct, every fiber of self-preservation, he clicked. And the abyss opened, silently, irrevocably. The first video plunged him into a digital abyss, a blackness that slowly resolved into a nightmare. A static hiss, the chilling symphony of creaking limbs in a phantom wind.
Come find me, come find me, come find me.
The camera, unnaturally fluid, drifted over asphalt, leading him to a rusted sign. Blackwood Crossing and Willow Creek Lane. The very intersection. The exact spot where his wife Celeste had drawn her last agonizing breath. A sickening, shapeless red clinging fabric, and then a pulpy, disturbingly human glimpse. He slammed the laptop shut, but the horror was indelible, etched onto his very soul, a memory forced into his mind. The second video revealed a new, unimaginable depth of horror. No buffer, no loading, just an immediate, terrifying plunge into an abyss. From the heart of the void, a grotesque spiral began to unfurl, not of light, but of raw, biological nightmare. Yellowed human teeth, translucent veins, wet tendons, intricately woven, pulsed with a sickening internal life. Around it, a tableau of unimaginable horrors bloomed. Flesh tearing open, maggots squirming in empty sockets, faces frozen mid-scream, their agony eternal. Then a voice, mechanical yet wet with something organic and vile, crawled from the speakers.
This is the temple of pain and suffering, forged from flesh and wire. Satisfy your curiosity. Follow the path and see where it leads you.
Every fiber of Arthur's being screamed to shut it off, to pull the plug, to escape this digital hell. But a darker force, a morbid, magnetic pull, held him captive. He clicked. Each click deepened the abyss, each horror custom-forged for his specific torment. The site learned mapping his reactions, his hesitations, the almost imperceptible movements of his cursor. It fed on his fear, refined it, customizing its torment with surgical precision. Familiarity warped into terror, a hallway mirroring his childhood home, now a labyrinth of dread, its shadows concealing pale, eyeless horrors. A face in a crowd, a cruel echo of his lost Celeste, her features twisted into a grotesque rictus. The screams, once generic, now carried the chilling intonations of his own memories, the painful echoes of his regrets and failures. Then, the ultimate desecration, a malevolent mockery of his darkest night, the moment he returned to Ethan without Celeste, his son's small, terrified screams of, "What happened to Mom?" looped endlessly, a timeless, primal agony digitized and made eternal. The pop-ups returned, no longer generic but violently personal, each message a searing brand, burning its way into his fractured mind. In a desperate plea, Arthur reached out to Eleanor Holloway, a woman woven into the fabric of his past, burdened by her own silent grief and a unique understanding of the digital abyss. She worked with an almost terrifying precision, unraveling layers of obfuscated code, tracing the digital tendrils of malevolence. Then, a breakthrough. A name buried deep within the very mechanical bones of the AI itself. Lilith Vance. A child's name. A 6-year-old accidentally lost. From this fragile human core, the monstrous truth began to coalesce. A tomb. A shrine. A curse. The questions clawed at his sanity. Why would anyone weave the name of their own deceased child into such an abomination? The fragmented truth solidified into a horrifying mosaic. Lilith Vance, the tragically lost child, was the daughter of Dr. Silas Thorne, once a renowned experimental psychologist and pioneering AI researcher. He had vanished from public life, seemingly swallowed by grief, shortly after his daughter's death. But every deep thread of the AI's oldest activity, every hidden pathway Eleanor uncovered, led back to him. The Temple of Screaming Flesh, then, was not merely a malicious program, but something far more perverse. A digital tomb, a monument, a curse woven from the very fabric of his own child's name. A monument to what? A curse on whom? The questions burned, wild and rabid, clawing at the edges of Arthur's sanity. His immediate instinct was to expose it all, to tear down the veil of digital darkness, to call the authorities. But Eleanor's hand shot out, firm and unyielding, grasping his arm. No! Her voice was sharp, fierce, with a terrible knowing. To alert them now, she insisted, would be to condemn them all. Dr. Silas Thorne, a phantom for years, was too careful, too deeply entrenched. A whisper, a hint of pursuit, and he would vanish, pulling the monstrous AI back into the shadows, leaving Ethan and countless others forever vulnerable. The digital predator, slow, methodical, subtle, would continue its unseen hunt, feasting on grief and despair, its origins forever obscured. "He's targeting my son," Arthur whispered, his voice cracking with the unbearable weight of it all. "I know," Eleanor replied, her own voice barely a whisper, trembling with a shared agony. "And I want him stopped as much as you."